once again, it's me, your favorite anchor, and my name is World Priest. Today I wear cap, carry shawl, cover body. Here's where that be in the city of Jos today. So when I wake up this morning, I was feeling a bit cold, so I had to just cover myself up. You get it? And I'm very sorry today I didn't come out with the normal you get. So I was just feeling so hard. I forgot something. Now as I just enter studio, I just realized I no carry shekere come out. So the normal ritual is you're gonna miss the ritual, you know. You're gonna miss the ritual. But anyways, it's still me, your favorite uncle. What piece? If you get any other favorite uncle anyway, delete them because I don't laugh, I don't show. I made this unit like this. On how it be, the street will come from the child's play, and they also na muscle. If you get it, fine. If you don't get it, forget about it. Alright guys. So all through the initial drive and the initial jig as usual, today with me in the studio is someone interesting, someone nice, someone special, someone fantastic you don't want to miss. So he's also a pastor, you know, from Theological College of Northern Nigeria. Am I correct? CCNN. And today we are having him in the studio to discuss a very vital and very important topic. But before I disclose that to you, of course, I am not John the Baptist, so I can't call his name. Alright, so sir, the floor is yours.
Okay, greetings. Thank you very much, the Word Priest. I really appreciate this honor and also the privilege to be here in this studio to be able to introduce myself. I am by name Longnan Henry.
Pastor Longnan Henry.
Longnan Henry Dabet, yes.
From where, sir?
From TCNN, Theological College of Northern Nigeria.
No, sir, not that one, sir. Local government, state, village.
Oh, okay. I am from Pangshin, wow. Local government, from Sun village. I'm Ofun by tribe.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
I have one friend that will be happy to see you.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a woman. So on that note, are you single or are you married? Single or searching or searchable, rightly positioned or not?
Yeah, at the moment I'm single.
Okay.
Still trusting God and searching also.
Wow. So are you searchable? In case you enter www.
Yeah, I'm searchable. Yeah.
So to those of you that are watching, Pastor Longnan is searchable.
Yeah.
Check him very well. You know, he has beard, he has his fair complexion, he's taller than me. You know, he has height. You get, so he will fit you. I'm talking to you directly. He will fit your whatever it is. Right? So happy to have you in the studio, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. And not taking so much of our time today, the focus of our discussion will be on the theme Christianity: harnessing the talent in the streets where we come from. Christianity: harnessing the talent in the streets where we come from. So I don't know about the streets where you come from, but in the streets where I come from, there are lots of talent. Lots and lots of talent. You know, there are guys that can throw bars, there are guys that can throw dance steps, there are guys, you know, that are good with arts and crafts, making things, you know, so much talent in the streets where we come from. And today we are going to be focusing on this thing. Alright, so the theme actually aims to explore the intersection of faith and talent development, highlighting the potential for transformative impact in marginalized communities. And these marginalized communities, I'm not exploring all the marginalized communities, but just one marginalized community. Alright, and we believe that his insights and his knowledge and experience will greatly enrich our conversation that we're about to have. You get it? And then the key aspect of this theme is going to include rediscovering hidden gems in unlikely places, empowering marginalized communities through faith, unleashing street-based talent, and finally showcasing Christian values in action. Guys, this is an interesting theme that I know you would want to hear more and you want to experience more. Alright, so why not you just sit tight, call somebody to sit with you while you listen and deliberate. Feel free to drop your comments in the comment section while watching this video and anything you don't understand, and we will try our best to see how we can. You get it? Alright. So sir, having heard about yourself, this is one of the customs we do here always. We want to know what is the street where you come from like? What does it look like?
Okay.
You can tell us about the street where you come from.
Okay. Basically, I came from a street, an environment, TCNN in particular. I was born and brought up there.
Wow.
Yes, in TCNN. And also, a lot happens looking at us growing as children. There are a lot of things that we see our elderly ones do. Then also going to school, so in Pangshin. So that's another street also that I also find myself there, and then I get to see so many characters or so many things being displayed in the street. So I've come from a street where you find out that there are people that have certain characters growing up in a godly home. People that you see their parents maybe might have disowned them per se due to some of their attitude or character. They call them names and so on, and where there are peer pressures also. So this is a kind of street that I come from, and where you have fellowship of believers, where you fellowship together, where you grow up together, and also build up one another through one skills or the other. There are so many talents that we do engage ourselves while growing up too. We practice some of the talent of playing drums, growing up, cooking, and so on. A lot of things.
Wow, fantastic. So, unlike him, guys, the difference between me and him is that he grew up in a Christian-based community, and I don't know, I didn't know about this before inviting him to the studio, and it's like, okay, so we're getting there, we're getting there, and where the street where I come from actually is actually a ghetto kind of street. It's not the street where you say the church-based kind of environment. It's a street, strictly street. What we do there is strictly street, and there are lots of things that are happening there. Unlike Pastor Longnan, guys, he has been able to experience the beauty of Christian-based community. He has been able to experience that beauty of religious activities, where you get to learn how to play drums, you get to learn how to play keyboard, you get to learn the rudiments of music, and some other certain things, that the church can get to offer to you at its own disposal. So today we want to look at some certain communities, or a certain community we call the socio-economic marginalized communities in Nigeria. The socio-economic marginalized community in Nigeria. In other words, we're talking about the ghetto aspect of Nigeria. Those communities that are ghetto-like, those communities that are, when you enter there sometimes, you have to stretch your leg here so you don't put it in mud, jump from here to there. At some point, you want to cover your nose because of some certain kind of smell. Those socio-economic communities, marginalized communities in Nigeria. And we want to look at how the church can impact those communities, how the church can go there and bring out people from the mud. There's this popular statement, I brought him from the gutter. I picked him from the gutter. My guys know this talk now. And one of those days, one of my guys wanted to do a comedy, and he went and lied down in the gutter, and he was like, I didn't suppose to pick me from for this gutter today. They don't to talk. I brought him from the gutter. Made them bring me to come up for this gutter, and that kind of stuff. So we want to look at how the church can be able to extend the gospel, not just by telling them repent and give your life to Christ, and when they are done, you find the things that they were doing before on the street that was fun to them, they kind of stop them from doing those things, and I've heard a lot of guys that the church has not been encouraging, because the church has not allowed them to exercise the kind of gifts and talents they have. Someone said the church is greedy and stingy because the church needs people to always give to it, but is not willing to give it back. So we want someone that can play keyboard so that the person can always play keyboard for us. We want someone that can play drum so the person can always play drum for us. But then we're not ready to look at these guys that can play drum. What else does he want to do? What else does they have interest in? Does he have interest in football? Does he have interest in basketball, games and sports? Okay, does he have interest in music? How do we tend to develop his ability in music? And all that and all that and all that. But then, what do you have to say about situations like this? What would be your response to someone who would get up and tell you the church is greedy and stingy because, out of your own experience?
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, sir, for this question. First of all, you need to know the kind of church the person comes from.
Wow.
And the kind of approach the pastor where he's shepherding.
Yeah.
What is some of the approach in which the pastor used that made the person says that the church have not been
helpful
at all, and also the church has maybe put a margin between them. So I think first of all, when that question is being addressed, one can be able to know how to approach such person, because whether we like it or not, that person that says the church is not encouraging enough, that is to say that person has been traumatized in another aspect. Yes. So when we've been able to discover that, then I think one of the things that the church is supposed to do, first of all, the church will be able to help by not coming with a sword.
Okay.
That is to say, with condemnation.
Wow.
Yes, they don't tend to condemn the person, despite that, yes, this person comes from a ghetto environment, who was street, and these are some of the attitude or the character in which the person is portraying. But they should come with love. Yes, the church should be able to come with love. Okay, talk to that person, listen to him. Listen and know why that person is behaving the way he or she is behaving.
Yeah.
Yes, when you've been able to get that and then know the needs of that person. When you know the need of that person, you will be able to see how you can be able to come in to be able to meet the need of that person. In other words, you might not be able to meet all of his or her needs, but when the person sees the level of love and commitment that you have towards him, the person will have a second thought.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So I think this is one of the strategies.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
All right. So still moving on. I want you will agree with me that the church needs to identify and develop talent, whether the church likes it or not. Because coming to a situation where you have the church full of young people, very young and vibrant people, you need to see how you can follow them up and keep them. We've heard of stories from guys like Whiskey and the rest of them who tell you we grew up in the church choir and the church was not supporting and then they had to leave, and then they went to the secular world to entertain the secular music. Now, let's assume the church is faulty. I don't totally believe the church is faulty. For me, I think it has to do with you in person. Are you in there for the church, or you're in there for the God you're serving? Right? Now, let's assume the church at itself is faulty, and the church at this point, if we say the church is faulty, then we'll say the church needs to identify and develop talent. In what ways do you think the church should be able to do these things? In what way? Because I believe there are other churches, or there's maybe an elder in church or a pastor in church that's going to encounter this. How do you think the church should be able to identify and develop this talent?
Okay, great. Thank you very much. I think one of it is by certain competitions.
Okay.
Like where you will be able to bring youths together. You'll be able to bring youths together from various places or communities where they can be able to come and unite themselves, where they can be able to fellowship together. And when you've been able to bring out competitions in the place of sport, the place of maybe music, and in the place of maybe poetry and so on. You've been able to bring these things because these are certain things that bring the mind of youth or young people
Together.
around that will be able to capture their mind. And when you've been able to do that, what are some of the things that you are meant to put in place? One of the things are maybe gifts. You can set in, okay, these people can be able to get certain gifts pertaining this. Okay, these people, the first position will be able to get this and that. So when you've been able to do that, and then sit with the youth, sit with them, like be among them, because Jesus says that I've come not for the righteous but for sinners. You know, sometimes we pastors, we just want to be afar. We don't want to come close. So when we don't just put the competition for them and we are not around, but we should come, mingle together with them, talk together with them. I think by that way, we can be able to proffer solution to them, and then looking at the talent that they also have. You can be able to sponsor somebody to advance in that talent. For example, like maybe you've seen a very good footballer, and you drive interest in that person. You can be able to sponsor him to go on with that certain talent, and I think that will go a long way to encourage such person to keep striving.
Very well. I heard a statement from someone. This guy is a good dancer, very good dancer, and he said, I kind of asked him, what church do you attend? And at first he felt maybe I wanted to tell him, leave your church and attend my church and that kind of stuff. And the guy was like, if I want to tell him to leave his church and go to my church, and I say that he doesn't even attend any church, he doesn't like church. I told him, I didn't come with the mindset of wanting him to leave your church and attending my church. I just wanted to know. I just wanted to know if you're engaged in Christian-based community that will help you grow. And the guy was like, help me grow. The first thing he said was, these guys are hypocrites. They claim to have to follow the footsteps of Jesus. But now this was the statement he made. He said, but then they forgot that even Jesus was a street guy. Now I was driving at that statement, even Jesus is a street guy. In other words, what do you have to say about that statement? How true is this statement? Even Jesus was a street guy.
Okay. To me, how I can be able to relate to that statement is that you find out that most of the disciples that Jesus walked together with, he find them at the street doing one thing or the other. For example, Matthew the tax collector, yes, and also the fisherman, that's Peter and so on. So he find them while walking throughout the street, and also you find out that the crowd followed him because they find out that this person is not castigating us, but the level of his love that he is showing unto us bring us together. So I think regarding that statement, Jesus in its own self is somebody that goes to the street in order to shine forth the light, to bring men to him. So basically that's how I see it, going into the world, because the scripture says that we are the light of the world, a city on a hill that cannot be hidden. So he goes forth to the world and also shine forth that light, not with condemnation.
Wow.
Yes.
And this is to you that is listening. You're in the streets. One way or other, you must have one or two things you can do with your hand. Now, you must be able to have a particular thing. It mustn't really be like the football or the music. Peter and Andrew were not sportsmen. They were not musicians, but they had their own gift. They could know the times and seasons where fishes were actually at the surface and when they were at the deep. And they knew Peter. Peter Matthew on his own was a tax collector. He knew how to do his job very well. Even the so-called Judas was an accountant. He knows how to keep records. He knows how to address money, financial issues, and the rest of them. So the idea is you must be able to know how to do a particular thing so that you can be promoted. Alright, at least have an idea of this thing so that you can be promoted. Now let's come back to you, sir. If Jesus could have this knowledge to know that there are people in the streets who have gifts and talent, why won't the church acknowledge this fact? And now Jesus did his best to bring these people with gifts and talent in, to give them discipleship. Give them not just discipleship, he mentored them. They became his friends and brothers. Yes, I could remember in the scriptures where he said, my friends. He called them his friends. He called them his brothers. And then he could give to them what he has, deposit everything he has, and then give them his time and everything. The question there is, why won't the church do same? Why won't the church follow after these footsteps? Why won't the church not just look at these people and there are sometimes you want to help them, you look at them with pitiful eyes and be like, to this one, or this kind of thing. If this person could use his talent in the church, his life would have been more better than the way he is now. You want to help them not because you feel, let's do this as Jesus would. Sometimes we do it because we just want to fulfill all righteousness. And fulfilling all righteousness for me is not just this. You have to do it. You have to do it with the whole of your heart. You have to be ready to give them your time. You have to be ready to give them everything you have within yourself and out of yourself, just to make sure that these guys are being brought into the hoop and they're kept very well. But then why won't the church do this? Why is the church, according to these guys, just being hypocritically there waiting from the other end where people will just come and give out their own time to the church, and the church doesn't want to give its own time to them? When I'm talking about the church, I'm not talking about just the congregation. I'm focusing on the guys at the head. The guys, the pastor, the elders, and so on and so forth. Those are the people I'm referring to when I talk about the church. Why won't they give their time as Jesus did? Sorry. Sometimes when they come and organize this, they organize this competition. They do this thing. That's the funniest part. After they must have been done organizing talent ones, people come and sing. People come and play football and the rest of them. There is no room for mentoring these guys. There is no room for discipling these guys. They are just done and then they are just left. After the church came and did this and they are transformed. There is no room to want to keep them to disciple them and all. Why? Because you're letting souls just pass by.
Okay, thank you very much. I will say, as I've earlier said, some churches are really trying in that aspect. We cannot just generalize it all, but I feel that there are certain churches that are trying regarding that. But where I would like to also put more emphasis upon is the issue of discipleship, where you made mention of. Yes, it's not just enough to discover somebody that is talented in a certain thing, but it's also good to mentor that person and also disciple that person in that aspect. So to an extent, some are doing that. I know of some certain people that they might have been helped by the church to reach to certain peaks that they are in, maybe the church helping them in paying their school fees and some other things also, maybe in art, drawing and stuff like that. So I will just talk to our leaders up there to really create time for these young people, because they are the future of the church. They are the future of the church. They should create more time, because I find out that the leaders in its own self, they are more busy and carried away with a lot of things, not having time to disciple these young ones in a place that where
we know you're very busy. That's one thing we can't take away from you. It's your flower, we have to give it to you. We know you're busy trying to carry out church administrative jobs and the rest of them. There are people you could give these platforms to and say, okay, as the pastor of this church, I'm very busy and my elder is busy. But how about we look at someone from the youth fellowship and say, okay, youth leader, can you be able to look at these guys and disciple them? In fact, let's even be more realistic. Why don't you look at the fact and say, okay, we have pastors in this place, in this church that are done from the seminary, just that they haven't been given their own stations to report to, but then they are still with us. Why not, within this period of time that you are available, disciple these guys and keep them together in check up on them and all that. But then what we see the church, we don't see the church doing that. We really don't see. I'm sorry, I kind of generalized it. There are churches that are doing well.
Yeah.
You can remember of this Catholic church. If you are coming up as if you want to go to Polo, climbing after Polo and the rest of them. There's a Catholic church. I heard they picked some two guys that are twins. The guys are good artists. They draw very well, and then they made them part of them, and they were paying them just to draw and the rest of them. That's a good one. You are helping them. But at some point, I don't think it ends there, because you still have to keep these guys to disciple them and show them what the truth is. You might call them and give them money and tell them we're encouraging you to do this thing. At the end of the day, they can go out, carry that money, they're doing well, but then this God that you have, you didn't give it to them. You just give them money, but you didn't give them this God. So as a pastor, we know you're busy, but delegate these responsibilities to other people, so that it doesn't look like because you can't do it, someone else cannot do it. I don't even understand. Because that's basically what we're experiencing, and it's not fair.
Okay, I think due to what you made mention of, we can't dispute the fact that other churches are doing it, but I think maybe what might be able to bring discouragement to other pastors or certain leaders is as a result of maybe unfaithfulness that they have seen in the life of other youths. I can remember one vividly, is it last month or so. He said he brought up to 10 Christian guys to put them into trading, to do things that will help them. But he found out that these people were not faithful. They were not faithful. So I think one of the reasons why some pastors are not doing is the issue of unfaithfulness that they might have seen in the life of these, in some of these youths. Maybe they have tried countless times, and then it looks as if these people are taking these privileges for granted. So that can bring discouragement. That can bring that can make the pastor to feel that I will not do this again. But just to encourage the pastors that regardless of what might be able to happen, we should still have hope in these young ones. Yes, we have been trying to invest in them, and it seems as if they are taking these opportunities for granted, but that shouldn't make us to relent. Yes.
This is also from my end, that before you appoint someone with that kind of responsibility, because you mentioned something very important, that if you put them into trading, there are so many questions to ask. Did they go through a series of trainings before you put them in the site of trading? Did they go through teaching? Did you have to? This is just boiling down to what we talk about discipleship and mentoring, because you have to teach me some certain things before you can be able to tell me, now carry up this responsibility. Talking about my media team when we came in newly, there are some certain things I had to do. I had to tell them, before you get here, you have to first of all be able to know how to fix a tripod stand, couple a tripod stand. After you're done, immediately you're done with whatever job you're doing, make sure that you couple everything in its packet, in its carton before you leave. Now those are processes, because once they grow up with this mindset and this knowledge, before they leave, when they are trying to carry out their own, they know that I have to do this thing just like my instructor had said before. But if you don't put them through those teachings and then you now give them this thing to handle, you should not expect them to give you the best, because they were not being given the best as well. Alright, so that is from my end. That's basically what I think. You have to equip me before you give me a sword.
Yeah, but based on what he said, he really taught them on how to go about it, but these guys were not faithful enough.
Alright, we'll be coming back, guys, and when we come back, we will be discussing few, and then we summarize for today. Thank you. So welcome back, guys. We are happy to be with you once again, and still with me is Pastor Longnan, and we're still going to be discussing about Christianity, or Christians harnessing the talent in the streets where we come from. Alright, And now we want to be going into something specific. So we've been able to talk about the church and how the church should be able to carry along these guys in the street, because they're all part of the reason why we are existing as a church. So how we should carry them along. But now what we want to look at is the challenges and considerations that we have to put in mind while we are trying to help them harness the gifts that they have within them. The few challenges we have. Alright, the few challenges we have. I'll just mention a few challenges from my end, and I will allow the big man in the studio. Allow the big man in the studio to talk about them. Alright. So a few challenges the church, some of the churches, because not every church will face the same challenge. Which the church is going to face is cultural sensitivity and contextualization, number one. Number two is limited resources and funding. Number three is security concerns and safety. Number four is building trust and credibility, just like he said. And then number five is sustainability and long-term commitment. Alright? Cultural sensitivity and contextualization, limited resources and funding, security concerns and safety, building trust and credibility, sustainability and long-term commitment. So, what do you have to say about this?
Okay. Basically, I think I will go with the security challenges. One, today when you look at our country today, like everywhere is not safe today. Like even if you are in your room, anything can just happen. There is insecurity anywhere. So there is this sense of fear in the heart of people, even if you have been able to empower certain people based on the certain talent that they have, and then the certain community that they are going to go. Let's say there is a crisis or something that is happening, the place is not safe, so they cannot be able to meet up with those things that we've laid in their own custody. So the insecurity challenge is a great challenge that can hinder the church from doing what it needs to do. Yes, and also one of it is financial constraint.
Limited resources and funding.
Limited resources and funding. For example, there are churches that have the heart to want to do these certain things, but they don't have the means per se to really do them. So this is a very great challenge to them, and it really affects the community today.
Very well.
Yes.
So how about cultural sensitivity and contextualization? Because there's this thing that the church is actually fighting with, which is bringing themselves down to the level of the young people. In other words, you have to contextualize if you really want to get them. Contextualizing, according to Pastor Sam, contextualizing is not going out of context. It's you trying to be. Paul said something. He said, if I will have to stop eating meat for my neighbor to understand what the gospel is, I will have to stop. Right? Not because he doesn't like it, but because he has to contextualize at this point in time, so that he can be able to capture the heart of his neighbor or the mind of his neighbor. So contextualization is one key thing that we have to do. We have set of young people today in the church that they come with their own mindset of how things should be, and at some point we have to flow in their level while trying to make them repeat to our level. So what do you have to say about cultural sensitivity? Now, cultural sensitivity has to do with the culture of that very locality where you find yourself. What does the culture entail? Does the culture say that as a pastor or as a man, you have to walk without shoes? You have to try to see how you can walk according to the culture of those people by not limiting your beliefs or by not destroying your beliefs. Does the culture say that as a man you must not sleep till 9 p.m. You must be on guard to watch your family till 9 p.m. before you sleep? I'm just giving some silly kind of examples as to what culture can say. What do you have to say about cultural sensitivity and contextualization?
Wow, this is a very hard note to per se, but culture in its own self, it said that it's the way of life. Yes, so we cannot just come to a certain community and we tend to castigate their culture, tend to try to impose new ideas upon them. We need to have a great understanding of the people's culture first. When we have a great understanding of the people's culture and also respect the people in authority in that culture, when we respect the people in authority in that culture, and also one of the things, try to relate with the people. Relate with the people in the sense that you come close to them, you speak their language, try to learn their language. Gradually, before you realize, you can be able to bring in the gospel to them, and also bring the gospel in their own context in a way that they will understand. Yes, because for example, I go to a certain place that they don't speak English, and I just go and I'm just speaking English without bringing somebody that understands English and also understand their language.
It's you alone that we know, only you know what you're doing there.
Yes, because it's not in their own context.
Yes.
So the issue of context is a very serious matter in reaching out with the gospel and also bringing out people that are from the street, understand their culture and respect that culture, because everyone's culture is very unique.
Very important.
Yes. So that's what I can say about that.
One key thing again that we have to look again here is sustainability and long-term commitment. So just like we were saying previously, it's not about you just hosting talent hunt shows, and after you host talent hunt shows, you're not committed to these guys that you've been able to pick their talent out. You just host talent show and then you just leave it, right? And then at the end of the day, they come, they sing gospel songs, and when they are out of there, they go back to their secular music, and it's as if you didn't do anything. You just promoted an entertainment show and nothing else. And then your ability to be able to sustain, continuously do this talent shows and pick out street guys from the street. What is your own statement about sustainability and long-term commitment?
Okay, thank you very much for that. I think one of the team that will be able to sustain the work, for example, maybe a talent hunt competition and so on, there should be partnership. I think it's very key. There should be partnership. When there is partnership with that person, that person should not just be left alone. There should be people that will partner with such person to be able to support what he is doing, whether financially, in kind, and in advice, in whatever aspect that you can partner with such person. That person will be able to know that yes, I'm not just doing this alone, but I have people around me that can be able to support me so that we can push this thing forward. So our number one thing is very key, that's partnership. We find out that there are a lot of people that they have the vision to do certain things, they have the skills, they have the talent, but there is nobody to partner with them to be able to encourage them on how to push in this certain thing. Yes, and also new strategy. New strategy. You know, you don't expect that you do things in the 20th century and you are doing it the same way in the 21st century. You know, you can't be able to capture the heart of the youth or to be able to get their attention. There are strategies in which you can be able to do to be able to capture these people's attention, and then before you realize, somebody will key into that vision or thing that you are doing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Very well. So guys, I believe we've been able to see and we've been able to know that there are talents in the streets. And please, if you're one of those guys that have those gifts, those talents, that very rare thing in the streets, that rare gem, don't feel free to say hi. There's one thing I've been able to do with my team. Jesus didn't go to pick the perfect ones. Jesus picked the wrong ones. those ones that are raw, that have not been showed us yet. As a leader, not just in church perspective, but as a leader, be able to pick the ones that you can deposit into. You know, when I was trying to pray and ask God, please, who should be part of this team? Virtually almost everybody you find as a team member of the shift is not someone that is fully done with this thing you're doing. The person is still in a learning process. And one of the reasons why this interview is between me and you today and every other person is so that these other guys can know how to use this material that are before them while we're trying to make use of the time and promote the gospel as well. So this is like a learning process to them. The church should be able to create such strategies that can allow guys to come and learn. I was in a Redeemed Church in Cross River State. I won't be ashamed to mention the name Bread of Life. It's the parish, and I think on that province too. One thing I know the church has been able to do was the church was able to use that platform to train one particular person in a particular gift, and this person grew up and played for the church and did this. Now they paid the money, the person learned, and then the person became who the person was, a very, very, very skilled keyboardist. Now that is one thing the church can do. The church can create platforms. I think recently I was hearing some quarters where they say they have their own football teams and football clubs where they go out to the street, pick street guys, empower them, train them, pay coaches to train these guys, and so that they can have the platform to play competitions, and then the other guys out there that come to scout will see them and pick them, and they have a life to live. Alright guys, we are almost getting towards the end of what our discussion today, and I would love to say this. Oh no, before I say what I want to say, I'll allow Pastor Longnan to give us his last words. However he wants to say it, to give us his last words, maybe addressing the street, addressing the church, addressing all of us in general. Bye.
Okay, thank you very much. You that you're watching, whether you are in the street or wherever, just want to tell you that you're very special. You're very unique. And there is a great deposit that God has deposited in you. I want you to make that use of that deposit that He has given unto you to the glory and honor of His name. And do not allow yourself to be hopeless. Because as long as you are alive, there is still hope. No matter who has castigated you or ridiculed you, just know that Jesus is able to accept you the way you are, and He will transform your life to become a wonder, what you can never even expect. So just know that you can be great. Thank you.
Very well. And from my end, guys, I would like to say this, that by harnessing talents in socio-economic marginalized communities, these are a few things the church can do. Listen carefully. The church can empower individuals and communities. Now you can empower an individual and you can also empower a whole community according to your capacity. Alright? You can also promote holistic movement. Now, the call for salvation is a call to live holy. And the reason why you're also trying to harness these gifts and talents is to help them live a holy life and to promote the gospel as well. You can address systematic injustice. Alright, there are some people that have been stripped of their gifts and they can't use it. They've been looked down upon as a community, and they can't be able to make do of the gifts that is within them. You can help them out. Alright, you can help them out. And then the church can also demonstrate Christ's love and compassion. So I was kind of in line with that guy when he said, Jesus is a street guy. We know Jesus of the street. And someone was asking me all through Jesus' life, where is it recorded that Jesus slept in his own house and the rest of them? The guy was a street guy, moving from one place to another. Alright? And then you can also transform life and communities. When you do these things, you can transform one life, and one life can transform another life. Another life can transform two other lives. And before you know, you transform the whole community. That's why the Bible says one shall chase 1,000. And from there you can chase 10,000, two shall chase 10,000, the rest of them. See, start with one person. Do what you need to do. Just start with one person. God is waiting for your next move, and He will empower you even as you do so. Once again, guys, my name is Word Praise, and I'm your favorite anchor. I would like you to, tap the notification button, even as you tap the subscribe button. Invite one or two persons to view what we've done today, because of the truth, this must reach out to the ears of everybody, and the streets must know that we love them. The church must also know that we are one. The community must know that this is a movement to promote the gospel of Christ, and Christ is always happy when his children do this thing. So guys, once again, I will always tell you that the streets where we come from, we just play. The hustle and muscle. The street and hustle, and the hustle and muscle. That is the definition of the street where I come from. So if that's the definition of the street where you come from too, then you have to tighten your seatbelt and realize that it's not easy. Are you gifted in one thing? It's not easy. It will never be easy. You will always get to struggle, to toil, to work hard. But don't be like those guys who say the church didn't help them, and then because of that they left, and they're looking for a way to come back. There's this trending thing about the secular musician. I was hearing it from my student chaplain. I've forgotten his name. I don't want to mention anybody's name, and I'm not certain, so I've forgotten his name. And he's in a tight situation, and he's like, if Lecrae, who is a gospel artist, is to be in his own situation now, what would Lecrae do? He's a secular artist trying to put himself in the show of a Christian artist. This calls for a thing to make you realize that as a Christian artist, what you're doing is not in vain. Someone is envying you out there, wanting to live a life that you're living. So do your best and live the rest for God. But then, don't you ever give up.
Yeah.
I'm your favorite anchor. Whether you love me or you don't love me, me I love you. Okay. See you next time, guys. Anytime you rewatch this thing at the same station, at the same time, at the same moment, but then follow, subscribe, like, check all the Instagram handles, all the social media handles, follow. You don't want to miss one thing. It might be something you'll never forget for the rest of your life. See you next time, guys.
Thank you.